Playboy and all these. I mean, like, do you look back and say, wow, like, look what I accomplished? Or are you one, like, if you asked me to listen to an episode of this podcast from 4 years ago that I did, I would say, I can't, like, I cringe. Do you look at your pictures fondly, or are you like, I just can't look at these?
Charles in Charge, I look back at and I think I feel really good about it because that really made me feel that I've made it in America. That was a really big show. And then a cine hall and a lot of things came on the back of that. So I was really proud of that. That was amazing. And especially, Chachi, woohoo, from, who's like in the Fonz. And then, Charles in Charge later on in life. There I was a little girl loving Chachi, thinking he was so gorgeous. Not sure about now, personality wise as well, and him. Um, and then suddenly he books me for a job to be in his new series, an episode of Charles in Charge. And I was like, oh my God, I used to love him as a kid. Anyway,
What was
read
it
my
like?
book.
No, I mean, what I actually did read your book, but everyone else needs to read your book. What was it like working with Scott Baio?
No, to be honest, I was quite astute at that age when I went there. I think I was like 26, 27. So mm, I've got to be careful really what I say, to be honest. But yeah, typical man's man, you know. Uh, and yeah, thank God. All I can say is thank God that I'm a really astute woman and very yeah, yeah. I know when there's a bad man around.
And you want to be careful just because there were things that weren't always above board or whatnot.
Yeah, no, I mean what I said in my book is true. Well, I guess there's a whole lot more. And then sometimes you look at those people and you think, oh, they've got a family, they've got kids, got to be careful. Um, I'm not really a horrible person, really, in that way. You know what I mean? To destroy people and their families. But what I went to do in the book was kind of educate people and, yeah, teach them. I wasn't taught, I had to learn the hard way. So hopefully people can read my book and learn the easy way.
When you did transition from, the modeling to the music, was it like a light went off, like this is what I was meant to do? Did you feel at home?
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. Let's say, I was playing football at 10 until I was like, that's soccer in America, soccer until I was like 10 till about I don't know, 13, 14. And then I went but meanwhile, I was in drama school. And then I played in netball teams. And I don't know, I just entered every competition, whether it's sports, singing, dancing, just always had it in me, and to go forth and do what I love with a passion. And I'm just so glad it happened. Um, Maybe I've gone on there.
No, 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 that like makes sense. Well, your music Touch Me was your first single. It went right to number the top of the charts. Your debut like album went to the top of the charts. Like, what was that like? Some people work their whole music career like never to have that type of success.
It was amazing, actually, because I'm sure a lot of other artists maybe watching this interview will agree. There's 5 years basically. You have what you normally assign for 5 albums, and in those 5 years you've got to really, really, really work hard. And then after those 5 albums, you've got to work harder to retain that success. And that's when it becomes hard, obviously, because you haven't got the record company behind you. Then everything changed because of you know it became downloads and sharing MP3s, and the music business just suddenly changed. So the only good time to really release albums now is when you have a great profile or you're doing something which everyone can see press wise. At the moment, if I released an album, it would just go on Spotify and I'd be very poor after spending like 70 grand on an album. It's like your fans say, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? But there has to be a good time for that to come out for the artist and for the fans, the TV. It's a whole package, isn't it? Really, as an artist to release an album.
It certainly is. Do you think it's easier now, like with the internet and YouTube and TikTok, like to get into the business, or do you think it was almost easier back in the 80s and
I think
90s?
there's I think there is an opening for people, which is amazing with the internet. That the fact that they can put the music on and on and on, and then it becomes trending, and people take notice. I think that's amazing. People it can be discovered by the internet. That's brilliant. Rather than you know go to audition with like 50 people there, and then doing a club date, and you go on and on for years and years. You can actually do something on social media and bam, you're famous overnight. That's brilliant. But there's also really bad things about music business, the internet, and the way things are going. Um, because sometimes you can sell your soul right now. You can put a song on, and then straight away people download it and it gets shared, and you earn no beans, and you're still sitting in your squat and have no money, and you might be famous. I think that's going to happen a lot now. I mean, let's just compare. I had a single out 10 years ago with Sabrina, Call Me, and I got a check the other day for 10 million downloads. And that was last week because it keeps selling. I mean, downloaded. It was £123. Let's say $130. $130. Mm,
Wow.
that's great. I
Right.
said to Sabrina, do you want a glass of champagne over the net? Just about.
What was the scene, the music scene like in the 80s? Like, who were your contemporaries? Like, who did you hang out with? Like, what was the scene like back then?
The scene was much more relaxed then, I must say. People had a lot more money, people a lot more, let's say, adventurous. Nowadays, you kind of got to be really careful what you say, what you do. Um, but those days, it was kind of more free, probably like the 60s. I would say the 60s music and 80s music was very free. Um, yeah. Um, no, I love the 80s. I miss it. I really do. But we can bring it back.
The music was, well, when you did come onto the scene, they initially referred to you as the British Madonna. How did you feel about that comparison?
I quite liked it actually. I quite like being compared with Madonna. Why not? She's fabulous.
There are worse
She's
people to be
great. Why not?
compared to.
Pardon?
There are worse people to be compared to, right?